Have you ever asked yourself who really was Jesus of Nazareth? Was he just a good moral teacher or truly the Son of God? This question is not just academic or historical, it is deeply personal. The way you answer it will shape the way you see God yourself and the world around you. Over 2,000 years ago, a carpenter's son walked the dusty roads of Judea. He taught crowds, healed the sick, and embraced the outcasts. His words sparked hope in some and outrage in others. His teachings on love and forgiveness have echoed through history. Even today, millions admire Jesus as a profound moral teacher, a revolutionary voice for compassion and justice. But was that all he was? Many modern thinkers, and even people sitting in churches every Sunday, are comfortable accepting Jesus as a wise man, a prophet, a moral guide. But when it comes to calling him God, that's where the line is drawn. Why? Because if Jesus is just a teacher, we can pick and choose which of his teachings to follow. We can admire him without surrendering to him. We can respect his words without letting them transform our hearts. But if he is God, everything changes. Let's look closer. Jesus didn't merely give ethical advice. He claimed an identity that no mere teacher or prophet ever dared to claim. In the Gospel of John, he said, "Before Abraham was born, I am." In this statement, Jesus used the divine name given to Moses at the burning bush, I am. To his Jewish audience, this was an unmistakable claim to divinity. He said, I and the Father are one. He forgave sins, something only God could do in the Jewish understanding. He accepted worship. When Thomas fell to his knees and cried out, "My Lord and my God," Jesus did not correct him. Some say these divine claims were invented later by his followers, but the evidence tells us otherwise. The earliest Christian writings, including the letters of Paul written only 20 years after Jesus' death, proclaim Jesus as divine. The hymn in Philippians 2 describes Jesus as being in very nature, God who did not consider equality with God something to be grasped, but made himself nothing. This was not a later myth, it was the heart of their faith from the beginning. Let's consider the argument popularized by C.S. Lewis, often called the trilemma. Lewis argued that Jesus could not simply be a good moral teacher. Given his claims, he must be either a liar, a lunatic, or the Lord. If he knowingly lied about being God, he was not good. If he sincerely believed a lie, he was deluded, not someone we should trust for moral guidance. If he told the truth, then he is Lord, and we are faced with a choice, believe or reject. Some people argue that Jesus was misunderstood or misquoted, but the consistent, clear claims recorded in multiple early sources make this explanation unlikely. Moreover, his life and his death align with these claims. Think about it. What kind of teacher chooses a humiliating, torturous death rather than escape or defend himself? What kind of teacher prays for his executioners saying, "Father, forgive them"? What kind of teacher predicts his resurrection and then fulfills it? The resurrection stands at the center of this question. Without it, Jesus might be remembered as a wise man who died tragically. But the resurrection changes everything. Historical scholars, even non-Christian ones, agree on a few basic facts. Jesus was crucified under Pontius Pilate. His tomb was found empty. His followers sincerely believed they saw him alive afterward. The disciples were transformed from fearful men hiding in locked rooms to bold witnesses who faced persecution and death. They claim not just to have received new teachings, but to have encountered the risen Jesus alive, powerful and victorious over death. Why would they die for a lie they knew was false? People might die for something they believe is true, but they do not willingly suffer and die for something they know they made up. If Jesus truly rose from the dead, it validates all his claims. It confirms his identity as the Son of God. Perhaps you still wrestle with doubts. That's okay. Jesus welcomes honest seekers. He never rejected genuine questions. He often answered questions with more questions, inviting people deeper into truth. Ask yourself, why am I drawn to Jesus as a teacher, but hesitate to accept him as Lord? Is it fear of losing control? Fear of what surrender might cost? Or maybe fear of facing a love so deep and unconditional that it feels overwhelming? Jesus invites us not just to believe certain doctrines, but to enter into a relationship, a living, breathing friendship with God. When Jesus claimed to be the Son of God, he wasn't demanding blind allegiance. He was offering healing, freedom, and forgiveness. He was saying, you don't have to carry your shame and guilt anymore. You are seen, you are known, and you are loved. To see Jesus as only a moral teacher is to miss the heart of his mission. He didn't come to give us better advice on how to live. He came to give us life, his own life. Imagine a king who leaves his palace to rescue a servant lost in a dark forest. He doesn't just send instructions, he comes himself, he gets dirty, wounded, even gives his own life to save the one he loves. That is what God did in Jesus. Jesus' divinity is not just a theological idea to debate, it is a gift to receive. It means you are not alone. It means your worth is not tied to your success or failures. It means there is hope beyond death. Love stronger than fear and grace, greater than your deepest mistakes. The question remains, who do you say Jesus is a teacher to admire from afar, or the living Son of God to follow closely? Today, he asks each of us personally, who do you say that I am? Will you respond as Peter did? You are the Christ, the Son of the living God. This choice is not merely intellectual. It's a step of trust, surrendering to a love that will never let you go. So what will you choose? Will you keep Jesus at arm's length as a wise moral guide, or will you receive him as Lord and Savior and let his love transform every corner of your life? The invitation is open. The question is yours to answer.